And away we go. Peace to y'all, blessing to y'all, happy right now to you, happy Wednesday. I know that this is on the schedule as Wednesday, then Thursday, then Wednesday. Life changes. I had thought that I was going to go to, this is where pre-stroke Reggie and post-stroke Reggie had an intimate conversation. So I was invited to go to this thing in Charleston, South Carolina, which I enjoy. And it's to play sound for a whole bunch of activists of color, right? So to just play and be with people and do beautiful things. My instinct was like, stay your ass at home. And so I said yes, but then I worked my way out of it. Y'all know that Debbie just smashed Charleston, South Carolina right now, right? So it's not like in a bad way, but in a way that's like there's torrential rain in a coastal floodplain. And as someone asked me recently if I was ready to fly again, and I was just like, no, because I don't know if I've got the energetic bandwidth to take disruption, right? The flight has to be perfect in order for me to entertain it. And so I'm so glad that I'm not like in between here and Charleston right now anyway. So listen to your instincts. Especially when they scream at you. Like they were like, why did you say yes? You didn't talk to us. So here's to coming back to yourself. What I'd like to do now is give us all an opportunity to come into ourselves, to shake off the day and to become more present. So begin with whatever physical movement seems appropriate now. If that's some neck stuff, if you shake the hands, it doesn't matter to me. Just come into a present understanding of what needs to be relieved in the physical body. Of all the places you could be in the world, you chose to be here. Hooray. Now be here, really, though. So present in this moment, not in the past or in the future as best you can. Then eventually coming to stillness, and that doesn't necessarily mean physical. Energetic stillness is possible even when you move the body. You come to a sense of stillness and presence. Feel the ground beneath you as a sense of support. But as Lama Rod Owen said this weekend in a class that I took with him, like the earth is holding you, like not just a sense of support, like earth has got you. And as you sense into that sense of support, feel the connection with other people on the call, feel the connection of friends in your community, family, other support systems, to reacquaint us with the fact that we are not in this thing called life alone. It's not designed that way. It's not possible. So feel into the connection to the earth, feel into the connection to whatever communities you hold dear. And lastly, feel the connection to the breath. The animating force of the physical experience. And perhaps if you've taken the breath for granted, maybe you make it a little bit more present for you. Again, as someone who's in recovery, there are a lot of things I took for granted that are so sacred to me right now. Perhaps the breath can be that for you now as well. So another moment in this space of grounding in this space of connection, in this space of peace and freedom. Aware of what's going on in the world, yet choosing to focus on something else anyway. As the bowl fades away, notice how energy is landing with you. And over the course of 3 inhales and exhales on your own, shake off anything that keeps you from being present to your needs right now. So inhale, presence. Exhale, anything that obstructs presence. And as you're ready, release the meditation. Never gets old. So I talked a little bit about what we're going to focus on this week in the email. Total first world problem. E, every time I say something like this, I think of you. So while talking to Sharon Salzberg yesterday on her podcast, like she and I had a great conversation about things we say. Since we know what's coming, what's our plan though? Like, what are we going to plan to do, right? So my father was a huge boxing fan, and one big quote from boxing is like, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Right, everyone's got a plan until whop, right, then that's when the fight begins, right? There's all this training and stuff, then when that happens, you're like, oh man. So when we find ourselves metaphorically whop, like, what do? And so that's what I want us to focus on and think about here, right? Because the next 90 days are going to be pure. Everything's going to come. So there's all this gender stuff that the United States has never dealt with that's going to come, right? There's all this racial stuff that we be dancing around that's going to come. Like, all this stuff is going to be like this. What are we going to do when that happens? Right? So knowing that it's coming, and for my planners in the group, planning for it, so you at least have a plan so that when something happens, you're not like caught flat-footed, right? So what I want you to do now, yeah, absolutely, over prepare, then go with the flow. Exactly right, because we know that something wild is coming. It's in the air. Like, it's regardless of the political apparatus, like, all of the devas are dancing for wild change, right? So it's the devas of the past, right? It's the devas of the future. Like, all of these things are dancing. Whose side are we on, and what are we going to focus on for the next little bit? So I want you to put some thought into, quite literally, what's your plan? Like, so if something unsettling happens to you over the next 90 days, I'm going to, and that answer could be scream at the television, right? That answer could be text, like start a group of people, text chain to do whatever. It could be I'm going to volunteer, go to a swing. I mean, there are all these things that we can do, but when we don't plan for it, we just sit and go like this. So you got about 4 minutes or so to come up with a plan. And that plan could be You know, you can sit and write, you can get up and walk around, you can do some cartwheels, right? You can take a quick nap, right? But whatever you need to get your creativity going about what's your plan for the next 90 days, let's make it super plain, right? When triggered, when faced with an opportunity to, what are you going to do? Because it's best to practice this now, and I'll shut up in a minute, but like, here's why I say it this way. I did not know that when when I had my stroke, I did not know that all of the practice that I had done for the past 15 years was going to form the basis of my plan. Something crazy and tectonic happened. It happened. I'm on the floor. Then I'm like, okay, now that I'm digesting what's happened, I'm gonna do this, right? So this, there is no right or wrong answer. But what are you gonna do? What proactive step can you take right now to form a plan so as the propaganda, whatever, the zeitgeist unfolds, how will you protect yourself? About 2 more minutes. Last minute. 30 seconds. Okay. So what what are some of the plans that folks got? Either unmute or put them in the chat. I mean, I'll share for me. I always have sound with me, right? If it's a little bowl in my little fanny manny pack or whatever, if it is an audio file on my phone, if it is something, it's just something. So if something happens, I can just kind of be like, oh, that happened, and reset everything and get me back into a place where for wise action and all the things. Again, this is my world. Not everyone can carry a sound bowl around with them. Totally, again, first world problem. But that's what I do, right? And it's something that I found that gets me into a place where I can redirect my attention, then focus my attention on something other than was what was getting me all over the place. So, what you got? Breathe. Absolutely. Do more for more postcard parties, phone banking, etc. Right. But Karen, a question I have is like, what are you gonna do? Thank you. I was like, That's not you though, right? Like, that's great. But what about you? So walk in nature. Thank you for being clairvoyant. Appreciate that. Anybody else? Buddy.
I just want to, with regard to over prepare and then go with the flow, which
Yeah,
I can't, you know. Is it? I think that's true with taking care of yourself as well.
sure.
And we'll give an example. Was this? I mean, I was about a half a block from Eastern Market. I go all the time because I live in the neighborhood.
Right, right.
And I see from a half a block away these two guitars. Now, I have never thought I need to learn how to play the guitar, and I don't expect that I'll be particularly good at it.
I love that.
I found this little three-quarter Fender from the 70s that came out of an estate in Philadelphia that this older black couple brought to Eastern Market.
What?
And oh, yay! And my first guitar lesson is next Thursday.
Shut up. Yes.
And I'll tell you what my goal is.
Oh my gosh. This is exciting.
So you should all, I'm gonna put it in the chat so that you all know it. So Mahatma Gandhi popularized a bhajan called Raghupati Raghava Rajaram. And some Indian students taught it to Pete Seeger in the 60s.
Oh wow,
And
you're
there are
going there.
recordings of him playing it. Like if you go to YouTube. And I'm going to spend between now and the election figuring out how to play the chords for that.
Yes.
Okay, you weren't expecting this, were you?
Oh, I don't have expectations really, but this is great. Wow. See?
So it's relating to Kamala and it's relating to Pete Seeger activism and
Look at
Gandhi
you.
and yoga,
Wow.
and it's good for anti-aging because I'm learning a new instrument. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it.
That is a multitasker's spiritual, physical dream. Like that's great.
And by the way, while my guitar was getting reconditioned, I wrote all 300 of the postcards that I ordered.
Mm-hmm.
And
See?
I'm gonna maybe forgive myself for not ordering another set.
Yeah, I mean, there's time.
Well, I mean, did you need to do, is 300 enough? Like, I don't know. Like, do I need to spend every minute of my life between now and November doing postcard? I don't know.
I mean, so I love everything that you just shared, first of all. Like, second of all, that is exactly the type of stuff I'm talking about. Playing in that dimension just changes everything. And, um, I'm of the opinion that if you, especially as a sound junkie, you creating music with intentionality has effects that are far outweigh 300. You know what I mean? Like that is some beautiful mojo that will be emanating from on Capitol Hill. Yes, 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 yes. Karen, you had your hand raised. Hey, go for it. Okay, right on. Um, so I see community, I see journaling and emergency text group support community. Sheila, that's like important. That's essential. Um, I have a text group that's my WTF group. Just like you saw that, right? Cool, right on. Just keep it. So, am I tripping? No, this happened. Okay, right on. Right. So just to keep it regular and keep it community. Um, Love that. Anyone else care to put anything into our circle? Going once. going twice. So, so now that um, we've talked about each other's plan, I want you to see if you have inspiration for another plan, right? So, E, you didn't know you're going to be like the gold star example, but like, what can you do that is creative to you, expressive, cathartic, and fun, right? So, protect yourself from the over seriousness of our society by committing to fun. I did my first private sound bath in my studio yesterday. I was like, what is taking me so long? This is great. My goodness, because I know what it was. I didn't want to move my furniture. Right? So I had this whole setup. It took me a while to put up. So I had to take that down and create space for people or whatever. But whatever, that's what the back room is for. That's what storage is for. So you can change the set. So for the next 90 days, am going to play for whoever, however, in person and online. I'm just going to play in addition to prayer groups and stuff and organizing and giving speeches and stuff. But my creative outlet, my creative plan, where I will focus my attention rather than on bullshit, is on play, music, for myself and for other people. So take 4 minutes and come up with a play plan. I mean, because the gist of it is this: we're training ourselves to focus our attention on something other than worry, not as an avoidance, but as a way to just don't waste the energy, right? Don't waste anyway. 3.5 minutes. What's your fun plan? And remember, fun is different for each of us. Like fun could be I ain't doing a damn thing. I'm gonna have like rest Olympics. Seriously, I'm trying to get my sleep on. Yeah, great. Word. About halfway done. 90 seconds. Home stretch. So, how will you focus your attention on play and creativity? What's your play plan?
Reggie,
Hey Beth, what's up?
um, I want to give you credit because I've actually already been doing that. I like Friday night, I put on this crazy purple dress and I got a karaoke machine for the farm that I did back in April, and I got
Yeah.
got a microphone, and I'm like, I'm just, it's been great. So, it's
Yes.
all because I mean, well, so. And then like last night, I got my instruments out, and my neighbor and her 6-year-old son, we were just playing and painting, and I'm listening to those crows when they come to me. So thanks, love you.
I,
Hope grandma's all good.
everything's good. Thank you. I love that. Right. So yeah, karaoke machine. Awesome. I wish the only thing I'm mad about this, for all the years I worked in these boring ass campaign offices, I'm mad at myself for never having brought a karaoke. As much as I love karaoke, I never brought a karaoke machine into those industrial campaign offices. I know better. I'm never really going to work on another campaign, but if I do, like the first thing I'll do, I'll bring my gong and a karaoke machine and be like, okay, Reggie's here. Let's go win an election. So Angela said, going to the beach with a book and staying off my phone. I mean, the internet has lost its mind these days, right? So in all the ways, right? And so the amount of creativity that's being generated in the center left of this country is wild. You know what I mean? And all the memes and stuff. I love a good creative explosion, but put the phone down. Thank you, Angela. Singing loud and bad. Yes, there's a place for that. Dancing and drumming with my tail. That's okay.
And I should note that tomorrow 8/8 is my 79th birthday. So I will be beginning my 80th circuit around the sun.
On 8/8? That's great.
And I'm sorry, I have to add 8824, and 2 times 4 is 8. And I'm just
Right.
going to go there for you.
And
There it
if you
is.
if you turn 8 on its side, it's infinity.
And
Yeah, very powerful.
2 plus 2 plus 4 is 8. 2024. Oh, Judy, that's great. Happy everything. I'll definitely play. I'll play something for you tomorrow. I'll record it and send it to you, and I mean it, for real. Sheila, create playlists on ecstatic dancing. Yeah, create content for a yoga class. Trauma for, yeah. The Beatles make everything better. Yeah. Camping for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, please. Nature as much as possible. So I love that. Anything else anyone else wants to because you see what we're doing here, right? So we've gone from theoretical and this is what's happening in the world to what we gonna do though? I mean, the thing that's different about me than most teachers, like I'm an activist, legit, creative, artsy, and super logistical and practical. Just like, so now that we understand the state of our existence, yeah, what's the plan? Like, what we doing, right? How are we taking care of ourselves? Like, how are we taking care of each other? How are we putting play into this thing? In addition to stress and those sorts of things. Thank you, Karen, for sure. So, last bit of thought before we practice and chill is there a number of forced breaks from technology or stressful situations you can commit to or aspire to in the next 90 days? So, yeah, I know it's hard, right? It's like, oh, yeah, he went there, he said that, right? So it could be 3, it could be 10, like just so it's the forced break of like, okay, there's too much of this. So forced breaks, and for what time interval? Look, Reggie doesn't mess around. That's like we here, right? So I commit to, I don't know, for an example, 3 minutes, 3 breaks of 3 minutes every day, whatever. So 3 minutes and 30 seconds to ponder. I want to say 8 for you, Judy, but that's a long time. So I'll just say 3 to ponder regularly structured breaks per day for how long? But think of how practical what we're doing is. Like we're using time management, and these are the skills of yoga and meditation. Like where do you focus your attention? What is like if this happens, what might you consider? Right? Like all of these different things as opposed to, oh man, I'm just like subject to the whims of the human experience. No. That's gonna happen. No, it's gonna happen regardless. So you can at least plan sanity breaks and like creative expression breaks while lives. 90 seconds. Home stretch here. So what do we got? That's in a place that has no service. Right. Y'all remember when we didn't have like when someone called you and you weren't home, it was all right. It was all right. Like world didn't end. Sorry, I didn't respond. Yo, you called like I called you 10 seconds ago. Like, it's fine. Shoot. Oh my God. It's really not that serious. I was calling to say, hey, it's not like, oh, I'm so sorry. What? For what? Anyway, what else y'all got? So, what breaks and what, how many and how long? An hour every morning for journaling and meditation. Best way to start the day. And it doesn't matter even what you put on the paper. It could be like War and Peace. It could be War one day, peace. It could be like doodles, like bad stick figures. Doesn't matter. Just commit to the time and fill the page. And you can fill the page with air. It's fine. AM journaling meditation. An hour siesta. Yes. Me gusta mucho. La siesta es buena idea. I speak Spanish. I'm not like just, it's a little known secret. I don't really be telling people all my stuff. But what else y'all got? Nah, Sheila, you're laughing. Look, if everybody knows your secrets, they'll want you to use them. Oh, you speak Spanish? You should do. I'm not doing Latino GOTV. Nah, get out of here.
Sí, pero ¿por qué no?
Tú sabes por qué no. You know. Naps, love it. It sucks that it took a stroke for me to say this, but naps are so underrated. Oh my God. Like naps and me are best friends now. I'm like, yo, I need to catch up on lost time. I should have been hanging out with you, Mr. Nap, more in my life. God. 1 hour, 3 times a week, 2 days a week, disconnected 5 p. Well, that's it. That's ambitious. That's cool. Anybody get mindfulness bell? I love that. I might even, and I'll give you credit, Sheila, like I might do a video on one of my channels to encourage people for that 30-second disruption, right? To try and like popularize that. I might even call Sharon and ask her to put it in the notes. But like, because like that's important. Like, and you got there's technology out there, so you can use technology to remind you to get off of it. How's that? Right? How Matrix is that? Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anything else? Cool. Well, workshop is over. Thank you for indulging me. And just notice how I hope that you work with and work through what we talked about together. And even if you do none of what we just talked about, doesn't it feel good to have talked about it though? Right? Doesn't it feel good? I mean, because again, having experience with something and at least thought about it beforehand, you can be like, oh, in that thing right, you know what I mean? Like it may not be readily available, but you are building literally the muscle memory, the neural pathway for a better outcome other than freaking the hell out or telling somebody about themselves in the languages you speak and don't speak, right? Like so there's like this planning and laughing about it, but also like coming up with like the serious plan, the playful plan, and not for real though. Like I'm gonna do once a day, whatever, right? Like doing this is essential, but it can also be fun, right? And you learn from other people, and even if it's just the 10 of us, we're gonna be the most peaceful people over the next 90 days, and it only takes a small number. Like I taught and teach, but I taught on Monday meditation, sound of the DNC, and everyone that we had 20 people, and I knew that like it usually is around 11, but it was 20, so I was just like, oh, it's season, you know what I mean? Like so it's people starting to feel that woo, are you starting to feel that? So and that's what I said to them. I'm like, look, that you took 20 minutes out of your busy schedule to tend to your mind, that is the best investment that you could ever do. And that again, I'm playing in the apparatus, right? So playing these instruments with these microphones to these people as they encounter, like, can you imagine having, and then we'll go into meditation, but it's a rhetorical question. Can you imagine being a political staffer for this election cycle? Oh my God. And goddess and all of them, like non-binary, everything, like oh my universe, like whoa, everything happened, right? From incumbent with momentum to not to someone got shot, oh, all this stuff. So, and that's what I said to them. I was just like, aren't y'all glad that we've been doing this once a month since February? And so, at least once a month, like Reddy's gonna show up here and be like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be 25 minutes and we'll be okay, right? So being playful, so my commitment to play is impacting the Democratic National Committee. That's what this is all about. Anyway, impacting your community. My community just happens to be a little bit buck wild, but like your community with your practice changes things. So speaking of practice, let's have one. Begin to move the body in a way that winds it down. Maybe create friction in the palms and massage the face and the head because it made you think a lot. Maybe the head goes from side to side and you allow the neck to be a little bit more limber. Maybe you begin to soften the body in a position that is more held and supported by the ground. But for the next minute, without my prompting, take care of your needs here and now. Feel the laughter we've shared, the planning we've shared about serious, playful, all the creativity and beautiful things that have manifested in our conversation. Feel those. That's good energy. Take that in. Feel the connection you have to yourself. Maybe be a little deeper, as well as to one another here. We had good exchange, good laughter, you know? Feel that. Don't take that for granted. And feel into the you that you are creating by committing to the next 3 months in a more playful, purposeful, effective way. And for the next moment or two, I want you to daydream in your happy place. So for E, that's with her new guitar, plucking out these chords. For Beth, it's in that purple dress, screaming in this microphone some song. But focus your attention on the creative practice that we talked about. What does that feel like? Does the blood quicken? Do the palms get flush? Butterflies in the stomach? Just notice. And notice how cool it would be to spend more time in this place than in Fretville. Or imagine one of your friends comes up to you and says, "Can you believe such and just happened?" Like, nah, but I went on this kick-ass hike the other day and saw a rainbow, man. Just imagine how you taking these small slash big steps to protect yourself can impact other people. Again, quoting when I was talking to Sharon Salzberg yesterday, she was just like, "Reggie, thank you so much for telling me not to watch 1 minute of that Republican debate." Because I didn't. I was like, "You welcome, sis." You're welcome, sis. But that's because I made a commitment to be honest and playful throughout this whole season, right? So my commitment to play and truth impacted people in ways I didn't even know. So we'll spend about 2 more minutes in this space. I'll give you space to be in this space. Then I'll play some soft tones. Then we'll close. But your attention is on your happy space. The disruption, benevolent disruption it holds for you, but for all those who you come in contact with. resting here in this place of space, possibility, community, resourcing, and connection. Feeling this energy as the creative expression that is waiting to be born right now. As it manifests to and through you, it inspires other people to take it easy, to protect themselves, so we can take care of one another. So bringing this practice to conclusion, place one hand on the heart, one hand on the abdomen to presence with something we take for granted, the breath. Let's take one clearing breath together. Then I bid you farewell until the next time I have the pleasure of your company. Deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. May it be so. Gratitude, peace. Judy, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, 888, magical being you. Gratitude, y'all.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Take good care.